Hi, welcome to the Rapid Profit Booster Summit. I'm Stacey Hylen, your host for the summit. I am a business coach, author, speaker, and I help business owners add an extra zero to their business without the hustle. And that's what this summit is all about, of how you can add profits to your business quickly and easily. We're not talking about strategies that take 6 months or a year to implement. These are things that are quick that you can do this week, this month, and increase your sales quickly. We're going to be focusing on 3 key areas that you need. First of all, the mindset. As a former Tony Robbins coach and vice president of consulting, I know how important that mindset is to help you get your business growing and to make that switch to say, you know what, I can grow my profits now, no matter what the economy is doing. Then we're going to be delving into marketing and what you can be doing to separate yourself from the competition and get leads right now. And then the third area is sales. How, once you get that lead in the door, what can you do to convert more leads to clients? So we have business owners that I'm interviewing that have multi-million-dollar businesses, and they are going to be sharing their best strategies with you. So listen in. They're short, they're sweet, they're to the point. Take notes, and more importantly, take action. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Rapid Profit Booster Summit. I'm really excited because today we are going to be talking with Susan Hobson, who is one of the secret weapons for mindset for really high level people. And so we're very lucky to have her here today. Welcome, Susan.
Thanks, Stace. It's such an honor to be here with you. I'm so
Awesome. I'm really excited. Let me give you the brief background of Susan. Over the last decade, she's a leadership mindset coach and founder of Elite High Performance Coaching. And she's one of North America's leading experts in the field of high performance coaching, working with clients like Google and the NHL. So she's drawing on her own firsthand experience competing in some of the most competitive environments on the planet: Princeton, Harvard, the National Women's Hockey League. She is revered for her powerful breakthrough results. So this is not any hand-holding, rainbows or sunshine. She is in your face. She's going to push you outside your comfort zone and challenge you. And that's how she gets results for her clients. So we are going to learn all about the ins and outs of how high-achieving, high performers are dealing with right now, because we're seeing challenges with the economy. We're seeing challenges with social unrest and the pandemic. So let's talk about how we can overcome this, because your people are still achieving.
Let's. Yeah. I mean, listen, it is not lost on me just how challenging this whole collective experience is for us, navigating this world pandemic, the social unrest, just everything that you just mentioned, as if business isn't hard enough as it is, and being a human isn't hard enough. Now we've got all this extra adversity kind of sprinkled in on top of it. So yeah, so
sure.
we're definitely in it, but hopefully still in it to win it. And that's where I just am really, really excited to unpack just some of how these leadership mindset strategies are helping my clients, and obviously how they can help our audience today.
Yeah, for sure. So we're all about rapid profit booster. And you know that I work with Tony Robbins, and we both know that a breakthrough doesn't have to take like 10 years of therapy or, journaling for 8 years. Like you can break through like right now. So what I'm hearing in the marketplace, like I'm seeing in Facebook groups and different people talking, is that it's like, this is just so much. And I'm feeling unmotivated. I'm not myself. Things that I've done before aren't working just because I feel like my mind isn't in it. So can you give us some strategies that people can use when they're feeling like, I can't do this, like I'm fed up?
Yeah, I think this is what it all comes down to for me as a leadership mindset coach, which let's just start there and just even understand like what it is and how I'm even, showing up in a space and place of giving you guys this advice. Leadership to me is really about like maximizing our human potential, right? Which is like starts in our own lane in terms of our ownership of our role in our growth, but obviously then impacts the lives of the human beings that we're trying to lead on these missions towards, realizing, our organizational bottom lines, or like the visions of our entrepreneurial businesses. But yeah, it's like where mindset really comes into play in terms of that. And this is why you can have a breakthrough literally right now. It doesn't take years of journaling, like you said, is that, it comes down to just the way that we are taught to think about our growth, right? It's like, that's what mindset is. It's the way that we think about things. It's the way that we think about how we make decisions and how we choose to show up. And it obviously can be massively impactful because, our beliefs, which really are the things that kind of govern our mindset here in our subconscious mind, really are the things that are influencing the way that we feel about the things that we're doing or saying as leaders, right? So yeah, I think like this is what it all comes down to, is like my role as a leadership mindset coach is just to teach my clients how to think strategically in terms of the results that they're really trying to impact in their businesses. So yeah, I'm seeing a lot of it too, right? In the trenches with people's psychology and businesses. It's like, I'm seeing a lot of overwhelm. I'm seeing a lot of anxiety, like just a lot of powerlessness, right? Because like the truth of the matter is like when we decide to go into business, we're not necessarily taught how to think about the way that we approach that, right? So a lot of the things that I see when I have clients coming through my door, and especially right now during this world pandemic, is that we have a lot of these leaders that are just taught to run on these deficit mindset strategies, which are these beliefs that we need to go outside of ourselves to get what we need to feel inside of ourselves to be able to perform well in our businesses, which is obviously a very reckless, unsustainable strategy for business. Because like you can see, once there's a little bit of adversity or disruption in terms of like the way that we're typically controlling that, once like we can't necessarily access that anymore because things are obviously different in the marketplace and in the world, that can leave us like feeling very powerless, like not really being in a high performance state in terms of the decisions that we have to make to keep sustaining growth through the adversity.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing a lot of that right now. For sure.
No, and I think also we've been in a growth market, right? So the challenges, the last time I did rapid profit boosters was during the 2009 recession. And that's why I decided to bring it back right now, because I was like, people are having that same thing, is like they've been in growth mode. Things are easier. Sales are easier. All the things are easier.
Things are working.
Right. And now it's like all of a sudden this constraint has shown up. And like you said, people can't go outside of themselves, because if they try to go outside of themselves, now everybody else is feeling negative, right? So a lot of the old standbys don't work. So what would you say to somebody that's in this position of like, okay, business, my life has been a lot easier. Now it's feeling really hard. What would you tell me to do?
Yeah.
To like get out of that funk and out of that unresourceful state, as you said.
Well, as you know from working with Tony, like the mindset arena comes down to coaching people on how to focus on what they can control.
Ooh, okay.
Right? Which is where the power for that type of breakthrough and acceleration on your growth lies. And again, if that's outside of you and all of a sudden you can't access that, it leaves you really out of control in your state, right? Which messes with your flow and your decisions and like all of that, which obviously impacts the rate of growth of your business. So it's like, let's start there and just really just figure out the opportunity in all of that, which is like, if you are one of these people who all of a sudden has no control of your motivation, you're feeling disengaged, you're feeling overwhelmed, like all of these things are indications of where there's opportunity for growth in your mindset. So that's the first thing that I'm really trying to compel people to think about in all this disruption, right? Is just like, let's step back and let's like critically think about this for a second, and let's start to really create some space to distill like what is working and what is not working, and get really curious about why. Therein lies the opportunity for growth right there, right? It's
I think that's huge. Like what you're saying is like, all right, stop. Like, I think first of all, you just need to stop like feeling sorry for yourself and stop saying like, I'm feeling this way, I'm feeling that way. And seeing that as the truth.
Yeah.
And then you're saying like focus on what you can control. And the first thing we can control is like the only thing some days we can control is right between our ears, right?
Right? Yeah.
And like what you said is like find the opportunity. Like that's just such a big shift right there of like, okay, you might be feeling all of these ways, but where's the opportunity in that for you to focus on your mindset and the growth that's available there instead of just giving up your control. So I think that's the other, they're looking for outside input to help them grow, but they're also giving up their control to all these external things as well.
Yeah. And I think that that's just like, again, it's a very reckless space and place to play as a business entrepreneur or as a leader, right? Because it's like ultimately at the end of the day, you always need to be in control of your confidence and your motivation, right? And like just like your ability to think outside the box and be creative and innovative when there is disruption. Like in business, we know disruption, like the word itself has massively positive associations. What that represents in the business context, right, is this like gap in the marketplace where if we just slide over there and put a little attention towards it, it can represent like a rapid opportunity for the acceleration of your profits and bottom line, right? So I kind of discipline my clients to think about their growth in the same way, which is like, obviously the way we were doing things before isn't necessarily the way that we're able to do them now and isn't necessarily the way that we're going to be able to do them in the future. But let's see that for what it is, which is it's feedback. It's not failure, right? Which again is like something that makes us shut down and kind of turn away from a mindset perspective. But if we see that disruption as like feedback in terms of what may be no longer working, then we can actually gain intel from it, right? Which we can get intentional about, which can help us pivot or adapt in the ways that are going to actually maybe open up a space and a place for some even bigger gains in terms of our bottom line and profit. Right,
exactly. I think people are so focused on the negative part and they're not looking at, okay, that's what happened. Like here we have this opening to change it and make something different. So let's unpack motivation, because I know you're really good at this because you work with, the NHL, a lot of these really great athletes and high performing, executives, business owners. What would you say to somebody, and I'm going to use a Wednesday as an example because of the fact that Wednesday is kind of that day that, a lot of people associate with hump day and, they think, oh, well, I just have to get through this week and then next Monday it'll be different, right? So what would you say to somebody that it's a Wednesday and they're like, I really just can't today? How would you help them turn that around?
Again, it goes back to my counsel from a second ago, right? Which is if you're having that red flag emotion, it's like the light on the dashboard of the car is like how I describe that to my clients. It's obviously a very low performance state. That's going to impact the way you show up in that day, right? So you got to discipline yourself to step back and get curious as to what that red flag is trying to suggest is the opportunity for growth in your mindset, because we should never be powerless over our motivation. That's literally the fuel in the gas tank, right? That makes us go and grow towards the things that we care about.
That's why I picked that one, because I think that's like the cornerstone, right? Because you're like, if you
you're
don't have
the water, if you don't have control over your motivation. So I think it's like, it comes down to us stepping back again and just critically distilling the why, which is what really is behind the scenes in your mindset that elicits that neurochemical release of what we call motivation, right? Which is like the purpose behind what it is that we're actually doing that day. I know for high performers, like the number one thing that we value is growth. Right? Like that is why we're here fundamentally as human beings. I believe like that's the purpose to being a human being, is we're here to grow. We're here to, see what we're made of and celebrate what we got and like just maximize our human potential. Because where we do live life in that way, that's where we're going to be set up to thrive. We're going to be set up to flow and experience max levels of fulfillment. So it's like, if we really start our day, whether it's a Wednesday, a Monday, a Friday, a Saturday, really thinking about the why and thinking about our purpose as human beings being that which is growth. And I think it's like, that's always something that is in our control. That's always something that we can choose to do. Like when our brain says, can I get up and just do the best I can with what I got to contribute to the world with what I got? And the answer is yes. Like, that's like something that is going to have us lean in and fully engage, right? And it's like, yeah, to me, that's the secret to motivation is you have to always, always, always be large and in charge and the expert in your purpose.
I absolutely love that. I love that because it's something that you control, but it's also like look at the behind her. It's like purpose driven mission, right? Behind you on your shelf.
My
And so,
anchor to
right?
everything, make sure I'm owning that, right?
That's right. And so it's like, Susan just has to turn around to remind herself. But that's the thing is like I think a lot of times people get so much in the to-dos and the
Yeah.
draggy stuff that they totally forget of like, but why am I doing all of these things? Why am I, why do I have this to-do list that's so long? So
Well, I want to say we're human beings, right, Stace? Not human doings. We're not robots. Like this is the difference fundamentally between us and machines, right? It's like it has to be meaningful for us. Otherwise, it's like it's a drag to get out of bed. So like that's the trick to hacking into the brain's meaning, right, behind what it is that you're going after and doing that day.
that is so true. And some of us have just forgotten that. So I think that's really, I think for people watching today, take a minute, that's why these sessions are nice and short. So you can actually apply what you're learning and take a minute and ask yourself, what that is for you and why you want to succeed, why you want to move forward.
Yeah.
So can you give us a client example of somebody that came to you, obviously keeping, confidentiality, but like somebody who came to you was feeling frustrated, burned out, burned down, and then they applied what you taught them and share it? Because I think that helps motivate people and helps people see like, oh, this person was dealing with this, I can do it too.
Well, I just like my specialty and wheelhouse is in helping high achievers become high performers. Okay. So just starting there is like, I meet a lot of clients who pick up the phone and book sessions or walk through my door for the first time because they're kind of hitting the brick wall, which is classic for the high achiever because the high achiever really is a mindset that is running on deficits where it's like it's never enough, this constant existence of striving for the next thing, because again what they need is outside of them in terms of that validation of reaching that goal. But behind the scenes of that, it's like it's a really deficit way of living, right? Like how are you set up to go after your goal if it's like, you don't necessarily have what you need inside of you? It's like a lot of sacrifice, a lot of suffering, a lot of disrespecting your bandwidth as a human being, actually thinking you're a human doing and trying to operate like a machine, like pedal to the metal, perfection.
Right. Oh yeah, perfection. Exactly.
Yeah, everything has to be perfect, which means you don't sleep and you're chugging the Red Bulls or the coffees or the whatever, disrespecting your bandwidth as a human being, right? So I see a lot of burnout in my practice, obviously, because, I would say it takes a high achiever to be able to coach a high achiever. It oftentimes takes that brick wall to create that pain leverage for a high achiever to actually admit, this isn't working for me. So again, it's like a lot of what I'm seeing in this world adversity right now is like people really having to step back and be like, okay, like accepting defeat. These strategies of mine are kind of broken. So a lot of the work that I have to do again is just like helping them get out of that striving type of existence into thriving, right? Which is not running on deficits of what they're not or what they don't have and beating themselves up to try to gain that, but actually just rewiring their mindset, to know where to go inside of themselves so that they know that they're enough. Like that is the starting point to the day, is the abundance of like everything that they got inside of them that is valuable, that they have to bring to this world again in a way that is in alignment with their sense of purpose as a human being in the world, which it just is, it's such a self-replenishing way of being, right? Because it's, again, you already are getting those emotional needs really filled up, that gas tank filled up at the start of the day. You're set up to go out in the world and have max impact in terms of the value that you bring and can contribute, which leads to that fulfillment, right? Which is that pinnacle experience for a human being, really. It's really where we actually get to experience just realizing our highest potential. So that's the typical client journey in terms of my process. yeah, it's extremely rewarding for me to be able to see that, especially right now with what everybody's up against in the world.
That is absolutely beautiful. I have chills because I think, like what you said about being a high achiever, to coach high achiever is so true, because other people just can't get it or understand it. And we've spent our whole life trying to explain it to other people that just don't get the amount of pressure that a high achiever puts on themselves to be a high performer. And what you just said of like, hey, everything inside is enough. And if you come from that, that's a huge shift for people to be able to be like, it's not about what I do, it's about who I am. And
it's crazy. It unlocks a whole other gear in terms of
yeah,
potential, which is like, you think you're doing well as a high achiever. I get excited when I see them at the first walking through the door, because I'm like, oh, wait till you see what's on the other side of this. Because it's like, that's not the best you can do.
right, exactly.
We're gonna maximize your growth, but we're gonna do that in a sustainable way. Like wait till you get a taste of that.
I think that's beautiful. And the fact that you say in a sustainable way is so important, because we can't just keep pushing harder. There's only a certain level that you can get when you just push. And then there has to be a way to replenish and then go beyond that. So
exactly right. That's the science of human potential, the neuroscience of human potential right there, right?
That is amazing. So
I have to be strategic.
Yes. So tell me, where can people find you online? Do you, so they can follow you and you have some really good content online that people should be like focusing in on. Great way to start your day to get a boost and a kick in the butt.
I just think like I'm on a mission to help people really answer the call I'm hearing in the world right now, which is like, if we were burying our head in the sands before, we cannot afford to keep hanging out in that avoidance. And so, yeah, like my passion is helping people realize their highest potential. And I always say, it's like, it's great to attend events like this and get that injection of motivation. Motivation will definitely get you going out the gates, but it's consistency that keeps you growing. And that's why I'm so, passionate about being able to get out there with this type of thought leadership in any way, shape, or form that I can, especially right now. So that I can really like help those people who are ready to answer that call with me. So the best way to find me is just, our website is elitehighperformance.com. You can book, some time with me there for a free consultation if you're curious to learn about how this, mindset strategy architecture thing goes down, the thing that I obviously coach on. I also have a collective of mindset coaches in the areas of high performance athletics and high performance career and health. But yeah, we've got a whole bunch of really exciting programs that we're running right now in terms of people that are just coming to the mindset arena for the first time. We've got a Launchpad program for them. We've got a high-level mastermind called the High Performance Society, which is for some of my vets who are really just looking to get into tribe and community with other, powerful, like-minded, purpose and mission-driven people. But yeah, so if you want to kind of figure out where our programs are, that's on the website. Or if you just want to come and hang out with us in the mental gym and get that brain training on, we're over at Facebook at the Mental Gym. It's called, that's our Facebook page. And again, that's where you can consistently kind of get exposed to that thought leadership on the daily. And the last thing I want to say that's really exciting is I'm just about to launch my own podcast called the Leadership Launchpad Project, which you can find out more information at elitehighperformance.com. There'll definitely be all the information there, but I'm really excited to get out there with that.
That's going to be awesome. So people can, be listening all the time when they're doing their things. I love that. It's, as Tony Robbins always said, it's net time, right? No extra time. So you can be downloading Susan in your brain while you're cooking, while you're driving, while you're out for a walk, and really integrating it.
I think podcasts are great for that. And I think it's the consistency of filling that filter, right? And getting exposed to that type of thought leadership. My colleague, Rob Kalborowski, and I are actually really excited about getting out into the world right now with all this disruption with these ideas.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we are going to put all the links down below. So make sure you go check it out, subscribe, book a session with Susan. Blow your mind. She's worked with my daughter. She's awesome for high performance athletics. So definitely check it out, and we will pop it down below for you guys.
Thank you so
Remember,
much.
Don't learn, implement.
Yeah, it's definitely the key is the integration, right? It's like knowledge is just a rumor until you act on it. And that's where it becomes reality and impact.
Exactly. Thank you.
Thanks, Stacey.
I hope you enjoyed that interview as much as I did. But just watching these interviews are not going to get you the results that you want. In order to get that boost in profits, you need to take action and implement. So I want you to take a minute now, write down on your calendar what you're going to do, highlight in your notes the great action steps you identified, and put it on the calendar right now. Now, if you need some additional support in growing your business, then reach out to me for a free session at staceyhylen.com. We will help you add a zero to your business without the hustle. In the last 20 years, I have worked with business owners just starting their business at a zero, to people from 6 to 7 figures, people from 7 to 8 figures, even working with clients to go all the way from 6 figures, 8 figures in their business without the hustle. And that's a key component, because who wants to work 1,000,000 hours to make money and then have no life left? So if you would like some help with that, then go to staceyhylen.com and book a free session. No obligation, no pressure. We're going to help you figure out what are the next steps for you.